Hey everybody, welcome back to Majestic Collectibles Podcast number 11, or if you're a hobbit, 11D. Let's see, it's May 9th, 2023. Kind of an overcast, windy, and cold day, which it wasn't supposed to be, so hey, it's Iowa. Wait 5 minutes and the weather will change. So this is going to be a little different format. I've got an eBay rant. That's Seller Rant, that's the title of the podcast. It's probably not exactly what you're thinking, to be honest with you. And I don't have any notes, okay? So usually I have all these note cards, recipe cards, and I lay out the flow and format, and I practice it a little bit, and then I put it in a box for posterity, my notes, I mean. And I don't have any of that. I am totally winging this, so I'm really hoping it won't be just a rambling, abject disaster. I guess we'll find out. Of course, if it is a total disaster, it's never going to air. So, you know, if you're hearing this, well, it may not be the best one, but it hopefully isn't the worst one either. eBay Seller Rant. And by Seller Rant, you know, eBay is definitely one of my favorite punching bags. I do have to give them credit, though. They have improved a lot, to be honest with you, over the last 3-4 years. This Seller Rant, though, at least right now, we're not going to start out going after eBay. So here, let me give you the background. Let me just start there, and we'll see where this goes. This is what happens when I don't have my note cards in front of me for my flow. So about 3 weeks ago, I'm in Northwest Iowa. I'm with my Minnesota dealer buddies, Chad and Corey. Oofda, Chad and Corey from Coley Collectibles up in Minnesota, and we're having lunch, and Corey brings this up. We start talking, you know, about eBay and what's going on. And he's run into a couple of situations that I have not. So this is a little bit secondhand. But he had purchased something from a seller on eBay, and they refused to ship his item. Now, it was a low feedback seller, single digits. I think it said it was 6. Positive feedback is also, so a pretty new seller, but he couldn't get his stuff. He would not ship his stuff because eBay had not given him the money yet. So he was not going to print a shipping label until eBay put the money in his account. You know, this is where the problem or the rant is going to start. Is folks that are going to be buying or selling anywhere, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's eBay or Etsy or Amazon, whatever, Mercari. You got to understand the rules. And to me, this seller did not really understand what was going on. I don't think, nobody thought that they were trying to be funny or rip anybody off. But you have to understand on eBay, if you're new to that, you don't get like full free reign, okay? You're limited to the number of items you can list. You're limited sometimes to the types of items you can list. You know, you have to fork over your social security or business ID, EIN number. You have to have you know, a bank account. You have to have this. And one of the things they do, if you're a new seller on eBay, is you don't get your money right away. And this actually, I can see where somebody's annoyed by this. So I do fully understand that. That would annoy me too. But the reasoning is really very solid and very important in that, you know, with all the retail theft and fraudsters and just outright people that should not be trusted, you can't just fire up and start dumping stuff online and not have some kind of I guess control mechanism or some kind of guidelines or guardrail or whatever it is. And when you earn the trust, when you earn your stripes, you know, that goes away. You know, that will go away. You will get your money sooner. but you can't like hold people's stuff hostage, guys. If you're selling on eBay, you know, and I've been doing it a long time. I've been selling since May of '97, and I got to tell you, I've gotten beat up, kicked around. You know, I've made mistakes. I've shipped stuff off when I know dang well it's going to turn around and come back, or it's going to, you know, it's not going to work for one reason or another. But I still ship it because you have to be professional. The days of eBay when you're cleaning out your garage and closet and whatever's under your bed, they're gone, and they've been gone for a long time, and they've made it very clear they're gone. So when you sign up for something like this, buyer or seller, this is obviously a seller's perspective. You know, you got to read the fine print. You know, you have to use some common sense, and you have to pay your dues. I guess, you know, I haven't run into this too much because I honestly don't buy a ton of stuff on eBay. Well, I don't buy a ton of stuff online, to be honest with you. But I really haven't experienced this myself. But there was a sense of entitlement, I guess would be the word. And I'm seeing this more and more with buyers and sellers both. Well, there's some type of a sense that you know, you owe them something for reasons I don't understand. I guess I don't see that. Let me know in your comments, in my comment section. You know, if you've run into this as a buyer or a seller, or just maybe in general. And I would have thought for sure this would have happened during COVID, when everybody and their dog decided to become online sellers or resellers. So why it's, you know, and it was there. It's something that's been there. So this isn't brand new. But I have to admit, it does seem to be very prolific. I get a lot more interesting, I guess, requests through my eBay store, questions where they want me to take a picture from a specific angle, specific lighting, specific parts. But I mean, I've had 2-3 paragraph emails that are basically, you know, directing a photo shoot. And I don't know where that I don't know where that line of thought, that train of thinking is coming from. Because one, I don't have time to do that. You know, I'm just going to tell you flat out, if you're that nitpicky, I'm probably just going to throw you on the block bidder list, because I'm not going to keep you happy. I've tried this for years. I've tried this, and pre-COVID, this is probably 2018, 2019. So a year or two before COVID, I just, you know, if you're asking me all these nitpicky questions, I don't even bother anymore. It's not worth my time. My return rate is tremendously high. I only get maybe 4-5 returns in a year's span, and that's it. So I do not deal with a lot of returns, and I used to deal with a lot more until I quit dealing with these nitpickers and these entitled people, because I couldn't keep them happy. So once I quit dealing with them, it made my life so much easier, so much better, so much smoother. And, you know, you end up selling it to somebody else, kind of thing. But I just don't understand the reasoning, you know. I don't mind answering questions for my online sales. And if you want a couple extra pics, no problem. I'll shoot those on my phone and send them to you probably within, you know, 5 or 10 minutes if I'm in the office. If I'm out of town, obviously there's going to be a delay. But you know, that I don't mind. But just the sheer demands and the lists of things that they want. And if you're a drop shipper, you know, and you're asking me not to send, you know, anything with eBay on it, I'm probably going to block you too. And it's not that I don't want to ship it to you. It's just that, you know, I get the boxes from eBay, I get the tape from eBay, and they say eBay on them. So I'm not going to go redesign my whole packing system just for you, kind of thing. So I don't know. It just seems different post-COVID. And we're not out of post-COVID very far at all. But there does seem to be something of an attitude shift there when it comes to buyers and sellers both. And I don't know what it is, Maybe it's a generation gap. I'm old, and maybe it's just that simple. I really don't know. So give me your thoughts. Give me your thoughts and comments on these things. So that's kind of the first eBay rant. So it wasn't actually anti-eBay. So if you're listening for that, I guess you're going to be disappointed. This topic though, this part I think you'll like a lot more. And again, I'm an eBay critic, and let me clarify this. I sell a lot on eBay, and I have for quite a while now. But I do not live the eBay lifestyle. I am a collectible dealer that sells on eBay. I sell on shows. I auction things. I have an antique mall booth. I kind of like that. What do they call it? Multi-level marketing or income, or however you want to term it. But I've been on eBay a long time, since '97. I've just never considered myself a pure eBay anything. It's a tool for me. It's access to a market I don't have locally. But here's the deal. So I guess coming from that perspective, I still don't understand. I still don't understand what eBay is trying to do. They're trying to do everything but be eBay. And that's very frustrating. Recently, a lot of people's sales have just disappeared. Not dropped, just flat out disappeared. And I was one of those. And it wasn't for a short time. I think it was bad for dang near a month. And just a couple days ago, the switch must have flipped, and it was right back up where it had been. And I know there's some updates, and I know they got to keep things, with security and so on. But my goodness, it's so clunky, and it happens so often. eBay, please work out how, streamline it. I don't know what you have to do. Okay, my wife is an IT specialist for a Fortune 500 company. I sell comic books. Okay, and toys and action figures and stuff like that. So I am no IT genius, but you've got to smooth this out for both the buyers and the sellers, because the buyers aren't finding what they're looking for, the sellers aren't being found, and then you stick all this money into this collectibles vault thing down south, and to me, that time, effort, and energy would have been better spent just, maybe fixing your phone app, right? Getting that organized and getting that straight and usable, especially the phone app, because, people are very mobile and have been for a while, and that's a very important part to access eBay for sellers. So, if we can't reach those mobile folks that are buying on the phone or searching on the phone, and we can't combine orders, shipping on the phone, on the app, to me, man, if you wanted sales to increase for you and for the sellers, the stock, the shareholders, the stockholders, I'm telling you, I'm thinking just fixing that phone app would be worth a fortune. I really do. That's kind of my current, and has been for a while, stuck in the craw is your technology. My goodness, the user interface, the website, just very, very clunky, and eBay's made improvements. So, there are some things that they have improved. It has not been a total wasteland or desert on the eBay improvements, but they keep improving the little things. The item specifics are still a royal pain. They've streamlined it, but the listing process is is really clunky. You know, I can list probably 3 times as many items in an hour, pre-item specifics. So it's really slowed me down. I mean, it's 65-75% fewer items I can list in an hour because of these item specifics. And I do templates. So, you know, if you're thinking, well, I'll just do a template, I do templates, but I sell collectibles. And so, you know, they're not always perfect. They're vintage items, right? And the collectibles is a huge segment of eBay, probably right behind clothing and apparel would be my guess, would be one of the few bigger segments. Auto parts, but that's kind of a different, you know, that's eBay Motors. It's kind of a different animal, you know, they're close cousins, but not quite the same. But, you know, for those of us that don't have the, you know, 25 pieces of the exact same thing, you know, when you've got 1 or 2 and they're older and they're collectible, those item specifics, I'm telling you, I don't know if they help me or not. You know, I fill them out. I don't skip them. The other frustrating part with those is, you know, sometimes I'll find something that's sold and I'll click sell similar thinking, oh, these item specifics will be filled in by that person, right? And speed things up. And that's usually a disaster about 80% of the time because they're either not filled in or they're filled in completely incorrectly on their item specifics. I'm like, how did anybody even sell this? Right? I mean, they're not even close. They're completely wrong. Why am I doing this? Why am I taking the time to do it right? Because obviously this person sold it and they were, you know, it was just way out of line. So, you know, that's something just, eBay, come on, throw us a bone. Everybody would be happy. Stockholders would be happy. Sellers would be happy. Buyers would be happy. So, you know, get that tech straight, guys. It's there. You have that capability. You just gotta focus a little bit. Decide what you want to be, and don't be Whatnot. Don't be Amazon. Don't be Walmart. Don't be anybody else. Be eBay. Be you. Do you, and you'll be just fine. You will be big. And I think this is really important because I got to tell you, I think Amazon's on close to the precipice. I think they're close to being Wile E. Coyote after the Roadrunner and going off that cliff. You know, they're obviously big and they carry a lot of clout. But if you ever done like price comparisons to the same items on eBay versus Amazon, most of them on eBay are cheaper because the fees are that much lower. So eBay, I think, for the first time, they've had this advantage, but they didn't have the marketing clout that Amazon did with their one-day delivery and things. But I got to tell you, now that Amazon's changing their return policy, I'm assuming that the costs are going to be going up for everybody, mainly because of shipping. You know, shipping's going to be going up at least once, and I'm guessing twice this year. But Amazon's got to make some headway, and they can do it if they're just eBay. You know, I said Amazon. Sorry, I meant eBay. You know, can make some headway here against Amazon and everybody else if they just focus. You know, just do them and don't worry about this other stuff. That other stuff will come in later once you get your website fixed, the search engine problems fixed, the server issues fixed. That'll all come in. You'll be just fine if you can get that all going. The phone app. You know, just 5 or 6 things that would make a massive difference to everybody on that. So here we are. That's kind of my two main rants. I really don't, I really don't have anything else going right now. So let me know if you guys, have a topic you want me to talk on. I hate to just sit here and ramble. I don't know if you guys probably don't care much for it either. One thing I want to run by you, though. I do have a question, so let me know if you guys think this is a good idea. I'm not sure it's a good idea, but I am intrigued by it. So a friend of mine here in town, he retired probably about a year ago now, and he was a big glassware, and I'm not talking cheap glassware. I'm talking like $2,000 a piece, and higher glassware. So really high end, stuff. And I think he's looking for something to do. So Mike, if you're listening to this, I'm not throwing you under the bus. I think it's a great idea. I just don't know if anybody else will think it's a great idea. And he kind of approached me about running like a seminar, like an adult education kind of thing at a community college, and maybe setting up at some conventions as a panel, and just talking about reselling collectibles. I think it'd be cool. I think it would be interesting. I've never done it. I've taught a little bit years and years ago, but nothing like that. So I don't know. Do you think that would work? Would you go to it? I mean, would you listen to a couple old gray-haired guys talk about this? I can see it going really well, and I can see it being a riot where everybody just stands up and starts getting angry, and you don't know what you're talking about, and you should do this instead. And so I don't know. I'm kind of all over the board on this whole idea, but I gotta admit I am intrigued by it. I just don't know if there's going to be a big interest. So if you would, if it's something, let me know. Just tell me if you would sign up. It's probably going to be like a $10 or $20 class, whatever the community college needs to get out of it. I don't think it's not for credit, so it'd be free or very low cost. And same with the panels. You might have to pay to get into the convention, but obviously there's going to be no cost to go to the panels or anything like that. So that would be something. Let me know. I'm going to go with you. I don't trust myself on it. So let me know if you think that's something we should try and do as a collector panel. One thing I would like to do, and this would be mainly at the conventions and kind of go along with it, but again, let me see your thoughts. Okay, you guys are all smarter than me, and you know it. Yeah, you too, Chad. Let me know. I'd like to run a panel or like some type of information on grading. Okay, I think that's really, really, really super problematic right now, and it's never been great. I mean, it's always been a problem since I've been doing this. But this grading thing, I pulled, so I'm a CGC authorized submitter. I pulled my name off the website. I hid it. So you can't find me anymore if you go to the CGC website and look for, submitters in your area. I pulled it. And I'm not the only one. In fact, I was the only one that didn't, pull my name until just probably about a month ago, maybe 2 months ago. Because people do not understand this. I don't know if it's coming from YouTube. I don't know if it's coming from eBay. I don't know where this is coming from, but it's been incredibly problematic where people, first of all, to say, well, I have something just like this one I saw on, and then, fill in the blank, eBay, TV, YouTube, wherever it is, and they're wrong. Okay, it is not the same thing. It's not even a reprint. It's just completely not the same thing. And the grading thing, when everybody took a turn at the roulette wheel or the slot machine over COVID and absolutely flooded the grading services with product, I got to tell you, I've been seeing those coming back for the last probably close to a year or so. And they're terrible, man. They're 90%, at least 90% of that stuff should never have been sent in. Absolutely complete waste of time and money on it. And now it's caused a real problem because this stuff's coming back. So instead of like a 9 for a trading card or a 9.2 or 9.4 or better for comics, they're coming, 6, 7, 8s. Well, you barely get your grading feedback, if at all, depending what you sent in, because a lot of people were sending sending stuff in that did not need to be sent in, and should not have been sent in. And what they're doing now is they're cracking them back out. They're taking them out of the cases that they're in, and they're selling them raw. And then they're saying, "Hey, nice card, buy it and grade it and get more money." Well, they already know what the grade is, and they didn't like it. So now they're, it's kind of ethically, it's pretty scummy, that I've seen people do this. Where you're cracking it out, didn't get the grade you want, then you're trying to peddle it to somebody else because you can get more for it ungraded because your grade didn't come back good. So, something's got to maybe help people or warn people or clue people in on this grading thing. And it's tough. I mean, it's the toughest part of any collectible or collecting, buying, or selling that's out there is the grading. But gosh, it's bad. I mean, some of this stuff I see online on eBay, and they've got it graded for comic book VG, and there's chunks missing. It's clearly just not that good a book. And I don't know what the return rate is for this stuff. Maybe they do it because they get away with it. I don't know. But they're killing collectors, and they're killing. They're just going to end up killing the market, just like all this, junk wax did for trading cards in the 90s, just like all these pre-made collectibles, Beanie Babies and Barbies and stuff from the 90s and early 2000s. You end up really killing your market when you're that far off on the grading, and people are going to see it and think, oh, this is, such and so a grade, and then they go to a show or they buy something from somebody else that has that same grade, but it's a better book, or it's a better card, or it's just, it's more accurately graded. And that's how you lose people. That's how people get out of collecting, because they feel abused, and they should. So I don't know. That was the other rant or rave. That's the last one I've got. But let me know if you think those are a couple of seminars you think is maybe worth pursuing or trying out at some level. And send me your thoughts on them. Send me some talking points, and I'll try and do some talking on them on the podcast. Or, maybe if you come see me at a show, we can talk about it there if I've got time. Or, setting up a panel or something, or an adult ed class. I'm intrigued by it. I'm just not convinced that anybody else is going to care. So that's it. That's all I've got for now. Appreciate you listening to all this and sticking with me on it. Check out our other videos. Check out our other podcasts. And show season is coming up. So if you haven't seen it, go to the majesticcollectibles.com. And I've got the shows listed. So I've got Memorial Day weekend in Spirit Lake, Iowa, Dickinson County Fairgrounds. And then the week after that, I've got the Des Moines Con. Also, that's here in Des Moines, and that's at the Veterans Auditorium, Community Choice Credit Union, whatever you want to call it. And that's where pretty much everything is here in Des Moines now. That's where I did 2 or 3 shows last year. G.I. Joe show was there. Des Moines Con was there. The regional trading card show, sports card show was there. So anyway, all that information is on the website. Come and see me if you listen to my videos, listen to the podcast, whatever it is. Come by and say hi. Appreciate it, and thanks for listening.